Okay, so let's talk about how is a narcissist, how does a narcissist, how a narcissist is created. I'm going to explain it as simple as possible, which means I'm not going to get into all of the major, neurological and psychological. I do get into the psychological now, but a little bit, not very, very deep. I will do it with all the data later on. I just want to explain it as easy, as simple as possible. So, narcissist, when we talk about narcissism, we talk about NPD, which is narcissistic personality disorder, which means not every person that looks like a narcissist is actually a narcissist, because it's a wide range, and all of us have narcissistic traits to one degree or another, and the NPD is just full-on personality disorder, which means, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 85% or more of the person's personality. But let's move on. Like not all, but most of the personality disorders, at least, narcissism is begins at the age between the age 0 and 6 to 6. Why? Because then our psychological barriers, like cognitive rationalization, etc., like defense mechanism, are not yet developed, and we are most vulnerable to influence by other people, mostly by the grown-ups and the caretakers of our lives, which are usually the parents, okay, or other caretaker, whoever it is, each with his own story. And it comes from a trauma. At the beginning, I put aside genetics and the environment, which is also important, but let's put it aside for a second. It starts unconsciously. When a child, even a baby, has one of a few symptoms. Like if he experienced trauma that is very of neglect, humiliation, deep shame, helplessness, violence of any sorts. Neglect is also violence, but I mean maybe physical, emotional, not financial yet, but mental violence. And those are the aspects that create, in general, usually, most of the personality disorders, including narcissism. So, what happens there is the mind unconsciously, at some point between those ages, decides that it's not safe to express themselves. Why? Because when we're dealing with narcissists, especially narcissistic parents or environment, then it's unsafe to be authentic, because when we are authentic, the narcissist unconsciously interprets it as a threat of the narcissist identity, because narcissist doesn't have an identity, so to see someone else express themselves triggers them survival mode, let's say, and the flight or fight response. And this is why they neglect, act violently, etc., to the child, even their own child, of course. And then at some point, the child, it can be also dysfunctional families. It doesn't have to be a narcissistic families. It can be psychopathic, sociopathic, other personality disorders, just dysfunction in general. And I mean, that doesn't come to the level of personality disorders. And the child learns unconsciously that it's not safe to express themselves, and they don't get love because neglect and all the other symptoms I've said, it means that the child didn't get the recognition to his own emotions and expressions that he needed. So he didn't get love, he didn't get validation from the parents. And until the age of 6, if I'm not mistaken, 5, 6, I think 6, then we perceive our parents as gods, omnipotent, almighty, etc. And this is why the kid or the baby learns to protect himself. I'm sorry, I'm a bit slow. It's almost midnight here, and but it was important for me to upload this video today, so if needed I will make adjustments down the road. And then what happens is that the kid starts to look again unconsciously. It comes from survival mechanism after it shut down the self, the true self. Sorry, my dog, she was about to bark, so I needed to stop the video for a second. And then the kid starts to look again unconsciously as a survival mechanism for external validation. Usually there are some healthy people in the environment, okay, school, kindergarten, whatever, street, somewhere along the family, maybe the wider family. Then the kid learns that he gets the external the validation that he needs from an outsourcing, and then he learns to people please, because narcissism mostly is also some sort of people pleasing. Not completely, because there are control tendencies, but people pleasing is also control based in behavior. It just doesn't mean to hurt anyone. Apart from the narcissist, not apart this against the narcissist, which aims to hurt, because it can also feel very entitled. I get associative. So when the kid learns that what he needs, which is love, validation, etc., he gets from an outsource, and he doesn't learn to self-regulate himself, or through the parents, which is supposed to help him, the kid, self-regulate himself. Then I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I will upload it, so I can upload it on Wednesday. However, I will continue tomorrow. I will do it more. I will be more sharp.